Welcome back to the channel, guys, and we're really excited to bring you our 1966 Chevy C20. She's the newest addition to our fleet, and we have a lot of big plans for her. But the first thing we have to do is get the oil changed. The first thing we're going to do is chalk the tires for safety. This will prevent the vehicle from rolling. For this project, you're going to need an oil filter, a 22mm wrench, an oil filter wrench, a funnel, and 10W30 motor oil. The first thing I did was locate the oil pan. In the rear of the oil pan, there's a bolt that we needed to remove. This bolt will allow the oil to drain from the motor. I used a 22mm wrench to loosen the bolt. We let the motor oil drain into our pan for a few minutes, and we came back and it was all done. Next, we're going to put the bolt back and tighten it down with our wrench. This will ensure that no motor oil leaks from the oil pan. At this point, we're done under the truck, so now we had to locate where the oil filter is, and on this particular model, it's going to be on the passenger side of the engine. Now that we've located the old oil filter, we're going to want to make sure that our pan that we use to drain the oil in is underneath the oil filter. This will ensure that anything that comes out when we remove it will be caught. Then you're going to take the oil filter wrench and loosen up the old oil filter and remove it. Before you put the new oil filter on, take some of that excess oil that's drained out and rub it around the rubber ring. This will help for future removal of this oil filter. Tighten it back down with your oil filter wrench. Make sure she's snug and not over tight. Now that the oil filter is on, we're going to put the oil in the motor. Take the 10W30, remove the oil cap from the top of the motor, and pour it in. Next, we'll check the oil and ensure that all the levels are correct. Finally, we're going to turn the truck on and make sure we don't have any leaks. Checking underneath the truck, ensuring that the bolt used to drain the motor oil earlier is tight and not leaking. And then finally, we're going to check the oil filter again and ensure that that's been tightened down properly and not leaking as well. Alright guys, as you can see, the oil change was very simple. These old trucks, they're not hard to work on. Before we get started on the rest of the project though, I just want to give you a backstory about this truck. She was kept in a barn for the last 10 years. She has 31,000 original miles. And the most interesting part about this truck is that she still has the plastic on the sun visor from the factory. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll be putting out more and more videos about the build, and we want to keep you guys updated as it progresses.